A lot of moving parts. Okay. So, welcome everybody to the Git Bit Podcast, the podcast for blurs and nerds for everybody to enjoy. I'm your host, the most, Will Buchanan. Of course, the man to my left on the video that you're probably watching right now is, of course, Joe. Joe, how you doing tonight, man?
Today I am the overly leveled Spectre, Joe Tonello.
Overly level Spectre. Well, better than the one the CW put out. But besides that, guys, before we do get started, we are a family-friendly podcast. At least we try to be. We do try to watch our language, but sometimes words do slip out. And at the same time, guys, the trailers that, we may show trailers and comic book things on here that might be a little graphic for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. We're just going to go into it. Speaking of DC, especially CW, more specifically DC, there was news, if you haven't been paying attention. DC, of course, is a part of Warner Brothers, which is also a part of a conglomerate that's connected to AT&T, in which now AT&T and Discovery have made a decision, if you will, that now all of DC's intellectual properties will now be under the Discovery Channel. So all you Snyder fans out there, there's still a chance. I shouldn't say that. That's wrong as all get out. Because I have never
Don't tease them.
I shouldn't tease them because it's funny. It is funny. It is very much funny. Because I still keep on seeing Discovery restore the Snyderverse. But that was the only DC news that was out there. We're actually just going to go over very quickly the news because DC's direction, they did actually introduce a lot of animated movies coming out. So, Joe, I'll let you take the role on this one, man, as far as the movies they talked about coming out with.
Some of them were movies and some of them were actually animated series. So they announced that we were getting a new Batman animated series called Batman the Cape Crusader.
That one I was. And I'm not. And as you're looking that up, I did want to talk about that for a split second because.
So there's that. We'll get into that a little bit more in depth, but it's being produced by Bruce Timm, which is great.
Yeah.
Matt Reeves, who didn't get his chance to do his Batman movie, or at least he is. I keep forgetting.
Matt Reeves is still doing that Batman Robert Pattinson. It's still coming out.
Okay, he's the one with the Pattinson. For some reason, I thought he was the one with whatchamacallit.
You thought he was the other guy that had that was trying to pick he was trying to get Keanu Reeves to play Batman?
No, the one that was Batman in Justice League. I'm terrible with names.
You mean the director that was with Ben Affleck?
Yes, I thought he was Ben Affleck, Batman director. That's my fault. And J.J. Abrams. So we know that every single episode, the end of that episode is going to be bad.
Well, I mean, it's.
What else do we got? We got the.
Well, wait. Before you do that, let me stop you there because I got to say this before we move on to the next one. I am a Batman fan. I am a Batman fan. I love Batman, and I know Joe's gonna say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and beat him to the punch. We don't need another relaunch of a Batman animated series. We don't. We've had great Batman animated series. We've had the original, I'd call it the OG, that Warner Bros. Initially did, the first animated series with Kevin Conroy. That was a fantastic series. I love it, still hailed as one of the greats. Batman, the Brave and the Bold also was good for what it was because it did put Batman with certain other DC characters. It was great. And before Batman the Bold, there was The Batman, which was okay. They kind of marketed toward younger kids, but...
It got better as the seasons went on.
Yeah, so we've had what? I almost want to say...
We're also missing one.
I was going to say 5. So 5 animated series, if I'm right.
So we got Batman, The New Adventures of Batman.
Yeah.
Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
The Batman.
And then The Brave and the Bold.
Beware the Batman.
I don't really count that one, but yeah.
Actually, that one is not that bad because what that show really is it's secretly an outsider series.
yeah, that's what made it terrible because of the direction they went. But yeah, you got a point. That still is a live series, even though it's kind of canon. But but that's what I was gonna get to before I let you go on to the next part of it. That's like, I love what DC's doing to a certain extent. You're going in a different direction. This is good. But you don't need another Batman series. It's like beating a dead horse. It's like how many? I was like, the stories, a lot of stories in the Batman catalog, you will not be able to put on a Saturday morning cartoon show. Some stories are really, really dark. So I mean, Joe, I mean, are you happy with it? Are you gung ho for it, or you're like me?
I'm Batman fatigued, but I do trust that we have Bruce Timm as an executive producer on this. So that's kind of a small assurance of quality.
Uh huh.
I will say I do like that they are going back to more of the original old school Batman. The design they mock up on this certainly
Uh
the animated series thing, if not for his more elongated ears. And I want to know if this is like golden age purple glove, like year one Batman we're going to be getting.
Probably so. But anyway, what were the other DC animated shows and movies that came out
We
with?
get My Adventures with Superman, which has already been confirmed to have 2 seasons. Executive produced by Sam Register, who's with Teen Titans Go, Jake White, who did Invaders Zim Enter the Florpus, and Brandon Cogger, who did Voltron Legendary Defender. This also seems to share an art team or an art style similar with that of Disney's Owl House, because Lois Lane literally looks like the main character of Owl House as an adult. Jimmy Olsen is black. I'm sure that is also pairing kind of with the CW series, Jimmy Olsen, which I'm fine with. It's fine.
I could say that, but I'd be lying. But go ahead.
Um,
Hmm.
I can probably see this. Is this going to be a more light-hearted, family-friendly series where we're going to get like some slapstick along with the superhero? Because already this looks like Clark Lewis has Clark pretty much in a headlock, and Clark is like, "Oh God, she's touching me," but "Oh God, she's gonna get me into something I'm gonna have to like change out into."
See, this is
And
the
Jimmy just there along for the ride.
see this that's gonna bug me. I'm gonna be honest with you.
So here's
That
the
part
thing, though.
that
I
part
know
right
what
there is
this
gonna bug me a
is.
little bit. It's gonna bug me, and I'm gonna tell you why it's gonna bug me. It's gonna bug me because I'm basically gonna sound like I was on the Batman animated series. It's like Superman is again. You're beating a dead horse. And yes, I can see DC marketing this again toward a younger generation who may have not watched these series. Okay, fine, I understand it. But it's hard to get behind it. It really is.
So here's the thing about this. I honest to God actually think that this series is going to be kind of a spinoff of Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, the comic series. Uh, and it's not going to be. It's going to be more of Jimmy tagging along with Lois and Clark, and we're going to get Superman's adventures via that POV with Jimmy, and him having to deal with like, oh my God, it's the oh my God, Lois.
I
Under that scenario, I am all for it because that comic series is hilarious and weird.
I mean, it's one of those things to where I'm trying. It's like maybe it'll be good. I don't see it. Maybe it has to grow on you. I don't know. It doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, they've already announced some of the cast, so we know Jack Quaid is Clark Kent. We know Alice Lee is Lois Lane. We don't have anyone for Jimmy Olsen yet. This is literally everyone starting fresh out of journalism school. Their first thing at the Daily Planet. This is also Clark's year one as Superman. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna get like run a gambit or a gamut of everything in early Superman lore. So this is like Superman year one Metropolis.
Maybe so. I'm trying. I'm trying. But aside from that, what's the other news? Because I know people are excited. Let me stop you. Actually, let me stop you first, Joe, because before you move on to the next one, I gotta take this one. How do you feel that there's going to be an Injustice movie?
I'm more than okay with that, so long as they're adapting the Injustice books by Tom Taylor. I mean, if we want proper Injustice, just go to YouTube and look up the video game itself. But if they are adapting the lead up to Justice League, what happens in between Superman putting a hole through Joker's chest to the actual event for the video game,
yeah,
there's a long span of history that happened between them. And if they're adapting that, I am more than okay with that.
But that's only if they're gonna make it rated R, though.
The other thing, yeah, I think they're just gonna tell. If it's an animated movie, I think they're just gonna tell a super condensed version of the first game. That's fine.
Okay. Well, I want to get you on that one because I was like, I saw that, and I was.
The other animated series they offhandedly mentioned because it's just how much far ahead they are. Is we are getting Aquaman King of Atlantis, the animated series. Hopefully we'll get Yellow Glove Earth 2 Aquaman, which only 4 people are gonna get that gym.
Yeah, but you see me just shaking my head about that. I mean, that's just as bad to me as the standalone Batgirl movie. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It's like you're gonna make a standalone Batgirl movie. Why?
I'm fine with that because he owns her own comic book very well.
I, Here's the thing I'm worried about because
look at it this way, and you're frozen.
Give it a second, because I don't think I'm
okay.
I better
so
say.
Here's why I say look at it this way.
Okay.
So far, look at it this way. So far, right now, DC live action films, they're handling their women heroes really well. So I'm okay with them trying out a Batwoman movie or Batgirl film.
But Batgirl is literally tied to this. Is what I was talking about. You take sidekicks and you want to give them a spotlight. Again, completely fine. But that's gonna kind of break into Batman's rogue gallery, and that's what I'm concerned about because either you're gonna go with her. I mean, depending on which Batgirl you go with, number one, whichever Batgirl story you go with, or whichever version you go with, it concerns me that I'm like, why are we playing it safe? That's my big thing. It's like you guys have sat there and said you're gonna hear the fans out, you're gonna go a different direction. Okay, great, but what are you gonna do differently? Because I kept expecting. I mean, they finally did announce, like you said, you talked about this, the Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. I like the fact that's different, and I can watch that because it is different. But if I hear Batgirl getting her own standalone movie, it doesn't fill me with confidence. Now,
I can name one villain they can do, and it would be fantastic to make a great movie.
Who's that?
James Gordon Jr.
It would be very, very PG-13. If I can understand that if the rating was PG-13, because I know exactly the villain you're mentioning and where that story is going with it, and I can see that. It just depends. It depends on how far DC's willing to take it. If they take it that far, yeah, I'll agree with you. It's a great story, but I'm gonna be honest. I think they're gonna be doing a lot of playing the safe role. I mean, just like
I'm just saying, you want to make a good Batgirl movie, and if it's with Barbara, then you go all the Batgirls. We can intrinsically tie them to their main villains because most of the main villains are their family. So if we're going to go the Barbara route, we give her James Gordon Jr. We go Cassie, we go with Clue Master. We give them Cassandra, we give them Lady Shiva.
Yeah, I don't think did they ever go into detail as far as which Batgirl they're going with.
No, and I don't even know if the movie's being made anymore because that movie was supposed to be tied to Joss Whedon, and he's kind of not wanting to be seen. No one wants to touch him right now. So
because the flack between the flack with Ray Fisher and his take on Justice League, for some odd reason that's still hanging around like a bad stench. I'm sorry, say that again.
Gal Gadot.
Okay. So sorry about that. I know this is like I said, we're trying Zoom because I wanted to show the trailers that we're gonna show eventually. So apologize guys for the slight delays. Just bear with us as we get through this. Because we were gonna have a nice little fireplace going behind us in the background. We actually tested it before we got on here. It looked different. Compared to me and Joe by the fireside, all we're missing is just a cup of cocoa and a comic book. Or a Switch. But anyway, besides that, the standalone Batgirl series, yes, they're bringing out the Batman: The Long Halloween Part 2 trailer, which is actually, The Long Halloween is actually one of the better Batman stories. If you don't know it, I highly suggest to go back and read it, although the Part 1 did do it justice. So I guess with Part 2, if you've read The Long Halloween, it is going to wrap up that story. Beyond that, was there any other DC movie news that we didn't cover, Joe? Oh, I wanted to talk about that. Blue Beetle, and Booster Gold.
No, they knew something that I forgot to link. DC animated shorts. They did announce we are getting a Ted Cord Blue Beetle DC animated short.
Oh, just Blue Beetle is gonna be in the short.
It's gonna be Ted, and I'm very excited for that.
Okay. Because I thought they were gonna do the short with Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, but it's just gonna be Blue Beetle and Ted.
No, they're doing something else with them, but this is an animated short.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's really the DC movie news that we got. Of course, there will probably be more news coming out because, like I said, overall, even though there are some movies I did kind of wince at, DC is going a different direction with their animated movies. I will be honest. Outside of Harley Quinn, because I didn't like Harley Quinn, I just didn't like the take on it and things of that nature. Other people loved it. That's fine. I am not the end all be all on everything DC, because they're gonna give her another season. But when it breaks it down, DC has always just had this great track record of animated movies. Live action movies, not so much, but their animated movies just seem to hit it out of the park all the time. Especially with one of my personal favorites, Batman Under the Red Hood, where you had Jensen Ackles playing the Red Hood. Which, if you've seen that guy cosplay in real life, he really could play Red Hood. For all those Supernatural fans out there.
Also, be Batman now.
Say that one more time.
I said I think one Halloween he also did Batman.
He does play him in The Long Halloween. He is Batman in Part 1. He does voice Batman. So you're exactly right. But anyway, but let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, I usually do go over the CW shows of the week very quickly just because, let's be honest, outside of one DC show that did return this week, the rest of them kind of concern me. Batwoman's still a train wreck. It tried to go dark again. For reasons beyond my comprehension, Batwoman's trying to go very dark. And yes, if you're wondering, they haven't let go of Kate Kane. Matter of fact, they're trying to say that she's been reborn as Roman Silence's daughter, which is just very freaking odd. DC Legends of Tomorrow. How is it still on? With that storyline, it makes no sense. Not even Constantine is making that watchable anymore. Black Lightning, just be glad that it's in its final season, because what they're trying to do with that story, it is literally and figuratively all over the place. And usually, aside from Superman and Lois, The Flash used to be a solid television show, but now in their whole take of as Joe had coined it, the Force Quest storyline, now it seems that they're trying to make Barry and Iris the parents that birthed the other forces out there. So it was a whole.
I actually fell asleep midway through this week's episode.
Say what?
I actually fell asleep midway through this episode this week.
I do not blame you. I was like, this whole
I
thing
think
of
the last thing I remember before I fell asleep was they were trying to convince what's her name to become the Hulk inside the force barrier.
yeah, they're trying to help her. They're trying to tell her to just basically turn to Furiosa. I was like,
Yeah,
really?
I fell asleep during that.
I'm like, usually the Flash is some solid story writing, but I think they went to the well one too many times trying to pull this whole family theme together. Trying to battle, I guess the.
Well, they're not stopping because they are heavily promoting Bart now.
Oh yeah, you did call it. You did say wait till Impulse, and we've seen the still shots of Bart Allen, aka Impulse, coming to the Flash, which tells me that
He could have picked a much better pose than the Young Justice pose.
I agree, but that does answer my question of whether or not the Flash will be ending in season 8, and it doesn't look like it will be ending in season 8. So it may actually be continuing past season 8, and I'm concerned. I'll be honest. Jared's not, and I can't talk about Jared. Jared's not here to defend himself because if there's anybody who will defend Flash to the bitter end, would be him. But he's not here to defend himself because I know he would have a different viewpoint on it. Actually, I meant to ask about that in our group chat, but I will still give the Flash. I still give it hope. I'll be honest with you. Maybe they'll turn it around because I still think it's one of the better CW shows until Stargirl and Supergirl come back on. I will actually go back and rewatch Stargirl because maybe I judged it too harshly. Maybe I felt like it just wasn't my shtick, but I will actually go back and watch the first two seasons again. Say what?
How far did you get in?
I got 4 episodes in of season 1 and I stopped watching it.
Okay, I will say this. Beth is really annoying in that series, but everything else is fantastic.
Which is why after you said that you still watch, I'm like, you know what? I watched Army of the Dead today. If I gave Snyder a chance, I can give Stargirl another chance. Although Snyder has just confirmed that he is a mediocre director, because for all those about Army of the Dead, I'm just gonna give a quick blurb about that. It's everything that you expect from a Snyder movie, and I will leave it at that. I gave it a 5 out of 10, but I'll leave it at that. But anyway,
very pretty to look at, but completely incomprehensible.
I plead the fifth. But that's almost. I plead the fifth. I am not. I will let everybody watch Army.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe just hit it right on the head.
I will plead the fifth and tell everybody, you can watch Army of the Dead on Netflix and you can make your judgments however you see fit. I just gave it a 5 out of 10, but everybody knows how I feel about Snyderverse and Snyder fans, so they might think that I'm a little bit off, but that's why I say, find out for yourself. Aside from that, like I said, the other show that really returned, Superman Lois did return this week, guys. And again, I'm not disappointed. It is like every episode of Superman Lois right now is uber good. I like and the thing about it is, which makes it so great about Superman Lois, is that it's not entirely focused on Superman. And I love that. It's like every character, whether it's Lois, whether it's the boys, everybody's story adds to the main story, if it makes sense. Especially with the fact of Jonathan. I keep on wanting to say the other one is starting to really force his powers, and his brother right there took a punch from him and broke his hand. Which I'm gonna be slick saying this. I think the other brother does have powers. Because if your brother just found out that he's a little enhanced and he can literally punch a log and not break his bones, and you can take a punch from your brother and all you get back is a broken hand, when usually people feel Superman's punches and they're in traction, to me, that tells me that you might have abilities. Which is what I'm looking forward to in the next episode. But it's funny that Lois is starting to understand that otherworld Lex Luthor is not who he appears to be, which I think is gonna blow up that story. And of course, like I said, it's the whole thing about Tag, which again, I like what they're doing with Tag's character, because again, if you don't understand where that character's from, it is a part of the Superman slash Flash history. So I do like the fact of what they're doing with that character as well. So, Joe, did you get to watch Superman and Lois this week?
No, I actually forgot that it was out this week, so I'm probably gonna watch it after this because I always enjoy that series.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a great series. That's why I said out of Flash and Superman Lois, and like I said, after this podcast is over, as I'm eating dinner, I will restart Stargirl and try to give it an honest look at it. I will give an honest look at it. If you say that I just have to muscle through the first 4 episodes to get to the good stuff, cool, I'll do that. Um, but beyond that, we did actually have
Here's
some.
the thing I will preface with you straight off the bat.
Okay.
Do keep in mind, I am a huge Starman fan. Like, I literally cosplay Jack.
Yeah.
So, and I say this with biased. So,
Well,
but I do honestly think they turn out, as the show continues, they turn out product.
okay. Well, I mean that's fair because I'm biased about Batman. I'm biased about Black Lightning and really a lot of other DC characters. So I know sometimes when I say stuff, I tell people to take it with a grain of salt because I'm biased as well. So I can't say anything about that. But anyway, before we get to Joe's recommendations, because like I said, we really didn't have a lot of information for y'all this week aside from this the DC data the DC dump. I need to call it something else. The DC movie release because DC movie dump kind of makes it sound like we put out shit and now you're gonna watch it. That's what it kind of sounds like. But aside from that, I did want to go over these 3 trailers really quickly before we get to Joe's comic book recommendations. I first wanted to bring up the G.I. Joe trailer. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, that Snake Eyes they're actually going forward with a Snake Eyes origin story movie. Because anybody that's watched G.I. Joe knows they tried the Rise of Cobra, they tried Retaliation with The Rock. Now they're actually moving forward with a Snake Eyes origin movie, as you can see there in the bottom corner. Yes, it is muted because if we played the volume from that, they would turn around and ban us quickly. Um, but anyway, the trailer actually showing is actually going to follow Snake Eyes as far as the origin story. Now, if you've read any of the comics from G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes has different origin stories. Now, depending on what they go with, they may go with avenging his master, and if they do, then that means we're probably going to see Storm Shadow. And I actually liked Storm Shadow in the first 2 movies. I can't remember the guy who played him, but I actually liked his take on Storm Shadow. So now we're probably going to wind up seeing this version of Storm Shadow in Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. So they don't have a release date for it yet, if I'm correct on this. Let me just make sure. Oh, I'm wrong. I am wrong. July 23rd. I am completely wrong. So July 23rd is when they'll actually will be releasing this. It will be in theaters. It will not be streaming. It will not be streaming on any streaming service because if you've been paying attention to the world outside, things are starting to open up. And folks are starting to get back to what they consider some sorts of normality. So of course that movie will be movies only. So Joe, I just want to ask you about the Snake Eyes GI Joe Origins movie. Are you looking forward to it, or are you gonna pass it up?
So I'm looking forward to it as a martial arts film. I really don't care that it's G.I. Joe at this point. I have been watching that HBO series The Warrior with some of the actual actors from it.
Oh, that's a good series.
And I mean, Joe, how do we pronounce his last name? So Andrew Koji is Storm Shadow. Henry Golding is Snake Eyes. No, I thought Joe Dawson was in this. Oh well. Oh wait, Andrew Koji is in that. Keep forgetting. He's awesome. So Storm Shadow is who I'm really going for because he's the main character in Warrior. For some reason I thought it was Joe Tolson, but I keep forgetting he's Sub-Zero. Different ninja, different movie.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like you're thinking Lin Kuei. I was like, you're thinking Lin Kuei on that one.
Well, they're both actors for in Warrior. I just got them confused. They're both playing ninjas.
Okay. But I'm the same way. I'm looking forward. To Snake Eyes, Snake Eyes movie, and like I said, now I think that they're trying to slowly reboot the GI Joe franchise. I think this is a sneaky, underhanded way of them doing it. But if the movie's good, then maybe we'll probably wind up seeing a Duke or a Roadblock or somebody else. We might even see a Scarlet.
To me, if they're doing multiple characters in this, because we also know this is also the start between Scarlet and Snake Eyes, which is more canon in the comic series.
Yeah.
It is in the animated series. Because the animated series is supposed to be Scarlet and Duke, which that makes no sense if you know the books.
Pretty much.
It's Scarlet and Snake Eyes. If they're wanting to go one step further, they could probably go Flint and Lady J.
Yeah, they could, but I think they're gonna play it safe for right now. But that's not the only trailer that we actually have, guys. We actually there's actually another trailer that's came out. Again, in the world of Resident Evil, if you guys didn't know, aside from the Village, which again, Village was a very great game. They're actually moving forward with Netflix coming with their release of Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Now, Infinite Darkness is supposed to take up for a storyline period. It's supposed to be, I think, 5 to 6 years after Raccoon City, the Raccoon City incident, and right after. Well, I'm sorry, that's wrong. It's supposed to be 10 years after the Raccoon City incident and 2 years after Resident Evil 4. So it's weird as far as the placement goes. Say what, Joe?
So, it's set between RE4 and 5.
Right. So it's supposed to be So it's supposed to be Leon's storytelling before Chris winds up in Africa, with when he was still with the BSAA. So for all those who are like, wait, that's basically the bureau that's supposed to hunt down bioweapons because they don't call them zombies anymore. But anyway, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness is basically a story surrounding Claire and Leon Kennedy again. For all those that don't know, one of the two main characters that you could play in Resident Evil 2, which is still by far one of the greatest survival horror games to be out there. So Resident Evil Infinite Darkness is actually another original story following the two as they're still trying to expose Umbrella, if you will, because keep in mind the timeline, Umbrella wasn't officially destroyed until Resident Evil 5. So because you will see signs of Umbrella, you will see signs of Albert Wesker, you will see signs of the Trinity. For all those that play RE games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But since this is an original story, we don't really have a lot of information on it. It's just the fact of outside of Resident Evil 6, I've never been disappointed with anything Resident Evil has put out, except one game, and it was RE6. I couldn't stand Resident Evil 6. I felt like that was the biggest letdown that you could possibly do. But as far as the animated series go, I mean, Infinite Darkness was, I mean, not Infinite Darkness, but the other Resident Evil games they put out, as well as the animated series. I think they had one other one for, I forgot what they were called. Dang it. There was two Resident Evil movies, and I cannot think of the name of either one of them right now. But I think I'll have to come back to that. But anyway, this movie Resident Evil Infinite Darkness will come out July 8th, also on Netflix. So Joe, what do you think about the trailer? I know you've probably seen that more than once. So what do you think about it?
Honestly, I'm really not too enthused. It's not even the trailer. It's just RE animated movies have a very hit and miss. Like right now, to me, they're 1 in 3.
I give you that.
So, I mean, I understand that Resident Evil is just absurdity up and down. But even then, with the films, I need a little bit more coherency. And I want to say my favorite one was actually the Chris and Rebecca one.
Oh, crap. That's the one I can't think of. That was also on Netflix a long time ago. I cannot think of what they called it. It'll come back to me later, but I know exactly the movie you're talking about.
What?
You're trying
Damnation?
Yeah, that's it.
No,
that's the one with. No, well, Damnation is not. Well, is it? That's the one with Chris and Leon in it.
That's Degeneration.
Yeah. What did I say? What did you say? Damnation or
That would
Degeneration?
be, it's Vendetta. Vendetta is the one I liked.
Okay. Because I had to think about it. It's like Degeneration had Leon and Chris in it. But I'll be honest with you, like you said, Resident Evils have kind of been hit or miss. I've actually didn't see a problem with the last three movies, but then again, that goes back to me being a Resident Evil fan and loving 7 and loving 8. But I still love 8. I've actually went back and replayed Village all over again, just because it is about as good as 7 was. But it is definitely, I think, it's gonna be a movie that's gonna be worth watching. Of course, that comes out in July 8th on Netflix. And the last trailer that we got, guys, is it's gonna be an interesting one because it's basically called The Green Knight that has Dev Patel in it. Now, at first, when I first saw this trailer, I thought it was interesting because it's basically a knight that was supposed to strike the Green Knight that comes in, and apparently that in a year's time he brings back destruction. And so the whole movie is about, from what I'm guessing, he goes on a quest to find the Green Knight to stop him before Armageddon happens. And visually, it's interesting. I mean, it's. I hate to say it. I don't mean to bring up Zack Snyder's name again, but it feels like a very Zack Snyder-esque, visually heavy, uh, special effects movie. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's a different story, which interests me. At the same time, I love Dev Patel because he's all, for all those don't remember, he was the lead guy in Slumdog Millionaire. He also played in a television series called The Newsroom on HBO. Amazing actor. So I'm actually gonna give this a shot when it comes out because I'm just curious to see what more about the Green Knight and to see where it goes. Uh, but Joe, what do you think?
I'm not a swords and sorcery person.
Okay, well, then it'll just be me. It'll just be me on that note. It'll just be me.
I'm really helpful today. I'm films.
No, no. That's fine.
I've just never been a swords and sorcery person.
Nothing wrong with that. But I'm just curious about that because, like I said, the trailer.
I think the only thing I've really ever enjoyed was Dragon Quest and Crawl, and the old Conan the animated series when we were little. But that's about it.
Oh, you never. I'm about to say. I think you'll see the movie series Conan the Barbarian with with Schwarzenegger and James Earl Jones. Those are always interesting.
No, I saw that, but I'm talking about like Conan the animated series.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. It wasn't half bad. I kind of dug it a little bit, but with the Green Knight, like I said before, it might just be me on this one, but it could be others out there that are watching this. So you guys let us know what you think of the trailers that we showed here. Like I said before, 2 of them are going to be on Netflix. The Green Knight will actually be in theaters, and I think it's awesome. Joe will pass it on by, but that's fine. That is completely and utterly fine, as it will be out this summer in trailers. So that's really all the trailers that we got. So like I said before I let Joe get into his comic book recommendations, we would be remiss not to say that E3 is going to be coming up. Yes, they are saying that E3 is going to happen this year. And that some of the big names will still have showcases. Please expect Nintendo. Please expect Sony. Please expect Square Enix to have their own showcases. They will probably not be a part of E3. I can almost say with absolute certainty.
Nintendo will be at E3.
Nintendo has announced they're going to be at E3. That's a first. Okay. So as Joe was pointing out,
that's the only thing E3 has going for them.
Wow. I didn't think they would be at E3. I thought they would do their own direct showcase again. But okay. I'm not gonna knock it.
Literally the only one they got out of the original movie.
Wow. Well, like I said, but okay, that leads to a whole other discussion that we're not ready for. But anyway, how we're gonna do this, guys? For E3, we are going to do a live reaction between myself, between Joe, and another friend of ours, Big BZA Dot, who's also on this Git Bit podcast sometimes. We will all be covering E3 as far as live reactions and giving our recaps. As E3 is set to start June the... Well, I'm sorry, what was the date? Thank you. So June the
15th.
Thank you. So June 12th to the 15th, so I think that runs from Thursday to Sunday. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, that's completely wrong. That runs from Saturday to Tuesday. There we go. I was completely wrong about that one. I don't know why I was thinking. Say, say again.
Yeah, it's weird this time around.
Yeah, so it's actually run from Saturday to Tuesday, which is odd. But anyway, we will actually cover that and of course recap it there and then give our ideas. No guesswork because I'm gonna be honest with you, everything is up in the air as far as what they will probably announce at E3. If you're Nintendo, you're probably hoping for Breath of the Wild 2. I have played Breath of the Wild. I still play Breath of the Wild. It is a I love it. I'm a Zelda fan. Yes, it's gonna. This I know Joe's shaking his head right now, but
oh, I'm not shaking my head at that. I'm shaking my head at people thinking we're gonna get a Breath of the Wild 2 thing.
I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people.
I just don't think it's gonna happen. We're still in the 35th anniversary of Zelda. If anything, we're probably gonna get a Zelda collection similar to the Mario collection.
I will say that and still announce Breath of the Wild. I will double down. I know, like I said, if I was gonna predict anything, I would be honest with you for E3. I predict that Nintendo is going to. I hope they come up with a Zelda package. I hope they do because I still want to be able to play the Wind Waker, a Link. No, well, yeah, I still want to be able to play the Wind Waker. Skyward Sword eventually is going to get released. The previous Nintendo Wii games for Zelda, I hope to play on the Switch. If it's a Switch port, I'll live with it, but I still want to be able to play it. Just because it's a little hard to find a Wii and Wii U. I still think there's going to be a Bayonetta 3 that's going to be announced. But I think Sony is going to either address the PlayStation 5 issue just because they don't produce enough to where the PlayStation 5 is actually going to have an impact yet. But I think the ace in the hole that Sony's gonna bring out is gonna be talk about God of War Ragnarok. I seriously think they're gonna talk about it. Either give a release date or say it's already ready to go, which will be weird. But that's gonna be Sony's ace in the hole because they can't do Final Fantasy. They already talked about Intergrade, that's already gonna be released very soon. So they're not gonna talk about Final Fantasy as far as because they talked about the Final Fantasy VII remake being 4 parts. So I doubt they're going to talk about that. But God of War Ragnarok, I'm almost certain is going to be a definite yes. And again, I don't know what to expect from Microsoft. I would hope for another Gears of War because Gears 5, they keep adding maps, and I'm like, and I know, Joe, we're going to get to comic book recommendations, Joe, but I got to get this off my chest. I love Gears of War, okay? I have loved Gears of War since the first one. I have loved 1. I loved 2. I cried at 3 because of how they did Dom. I cried at 3. Gears 4 wasn't bad. Gears 5 made me mad. Because the thing about it is, you kept adding maps and multiplayer. You gave us 1 DLC. You gave us the Hive Busters DLC. And I thought it was great. It was a different story. It was exactly what I wanted. And then after that, you went back to making maps. So this goes out to the Coalition, who is probably currently working on Gear 6. Hopefully, give us more story. I could care less about the multiplayer. I could care less about playing as one of the grunts or thing of that nature. Just give me more story. It's like a Call of Duty player that wants to see zombie. I don't care about Zombie Town or multiplayer. Give me campaign. That's all I ask for. And that's my little mini rant because that's gonna take me down a path that's gonna make this a very radar conversation. So with that being said, guys, like I said before, we are looking forward to E3 and seeing where that gets us. And of course, you can put your prediction down on what you believe they may show at E3. But aside from that, Joe, what comic book recommendations do you have for us this week, sir?
All right, so to tie in with the talks about movies, the new issue 3. The only reason I'm covering this is because it ties into what we were talking about. So, Batman is stuck in Fortnite. Catwoman finally got out, or so we think. So the Fortnite people, the actual office people, was like, well, Batman's kicking everybody's butt and we can't allow him to leave. What do we do? So it's like, well,
Just the fact that
why don't we
Batman's
throw
in
somebody
Fortnite.
that's equal value to, huh?
Just the fact that Batman's in Fortnite. But go
Huh?
ahead. I'm stuck on
So
that
they're
part.
like, we see Batman punching out like a dude from what's it called, Borderlands. He's got a chainsaw staff. He somehow has made a bat axe tonfa, and he keeps resetting. And they're like, well, he's getting close to win, and we're getting really high ratings. We need to throw somebody who's comparable to Batman. So, for whatever reason, they send in Snake Eyes to fight Batman.
That's not gonna end well. That's really not gonna end well.
Well, they're like, well, they're always even a match, and they end up killing each other most of the time, or they fight until time resets because it's a 22-minute time loop. And then one of them was like, so, what happens if they continuously draw? It's like, well, we can do that. It's like, so they can't talk to each other, right? See, Storm Shadow started sign language to each other. Uh, it's like, all right, well, that's going to be an issue. Then it's like, well, there's another issue. Everyone has stopped fighting each other just to watch Batman fight Storm Shadow. Or, I'm sorry, Snake Eyes.
You know, this sounds like this definitely sounds like Fortnite. But go ahead.
It's like, oh, well, what happened? We'll just throw more people at them. It's like, they've started to work together to fight anybody that's interrupting their fight. Then another email comes up. It's like, so what happens if they start respecting each other? And it just keeps on going. And then finally, at the end of the thing, we see Batman saluting Snake Eyes and Snake Eyes saluting Batman. And they're like, all right, yeah, we're not using Snake Eyes again.
They're going full just full content of Fortnite, which I get. I mean, it's marketing at its best, but wow.
Yeah. Then at the end of the issue, for whatever reason, Deathstroke got put in. It's like, we'll put him with someone more familiar.
Oh, that's the case. That's just gonna be just a. Let me leave that. I'm gonna leave that alone because that could go so many ways. But what?
It's just one of those. I don't normally read stuff like this, but it's just one of the. It's Batman fighting Snake Eyes. It's
Yeah.
just like an automatic read.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's one of those discussions we always had as kids. You know, if they actually did fight, who would actually win? So it does make sense.
Next up, we got issue 3 of Heroes Reborn. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself.
So you like torture, huh?
Well, actually, this one's really good because this is their Speedster issue. So we're talking, meeting the new Speedster who replaced the Wizard,
Okay.
which this guy is the Blur because the Wizard finally became main continuity and he's been with the Thunderbolts on and off his Speed Demon. But now we're fighting the good guy with the good guy, the Blur, as he is in a constant fight against Wanda, who is again the Silver Witch, who is the self-proclaimed Speedster Supreme. And for the most part, it's actually a pretty entertaining fight. You get the good Speedster stuff.
Okay.
But you also get Wanda's magic. So what Wanda does to slow down the Blurs, she uses her chaos magic and rips his soul out of his body.
Dang.
But that doesn't stop him. So then sends him to another dimension where he's having to fight mindless ones. That doesn't stop him.
So he's pretty.
Then she sends him to hell. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Then she sends him to hell, where we meet that since things are wrong, Johnny Blaze is not the biker of vengeance. He is the speedster of vengeance, the Ghost Runner.
What the?
Who, instead of a pitted stare, makes you walk up, makes your dimension mention a endless staircase of your own sins, so the penance stairs.
Oh Lord. Um. Wow. Just wow.
And then finally, Wanda just gets tired of it and just flat out does her shtick she's known for, and just says, "No more speed."
Just wipes the slate clean. That
So, I mean, even after that, he does some meditation and gets reconnected to whatever speed thing he's got. Beats Wanda, but the interesting thing about it is, this whole thing is that when Wanda's back, she's even saying, "I don't belong here. I know my brother's supposed to be alive. This is all wrong." And then it's more things where apparently the blur is outrunning the universe, the physical manifestation of infinity, the physical representation of the entire Marvel universe.
uh
Yeah, so that's happening. Also, there's a quick thing involving Bullseye, and we learned that Maya Lopez Echo is now the Phoenix, carrying the Phoenix.
Oh wow! And this is
Blade and Captain America are even Captain America. We're putting together a team because this world is not correct. This was not bad because of the speedster stuff. Now, granted, there is some just headache-inducing stuff like the penance stairs.
I'm like the play on words, the penance stairs. I'm like,
yeah, but it was a fun issue because speedsters always make stuff fun.
Okay, that's not bad.
Speaking of speedsters, we're bouncing over back to DC. We're talking the Flash. This continues Wally's quantum leap through the Speed Force, where this time he's in World War II inhabiting the body of Jay Garrick. He's teaming up with the original version of the Ray. I don't want to spoil too much because this is really a great series you got to read. We just learned that this is also takes a look at Jay's faith, which is something we don't really get to talk too much about.
Yeah.
And then Wally takes over. We get to see Hitler with the Spear of Destiny. And then after that, we get to see where he jumps to next. And this had me rolling.
Uh-oh.
So he jumps into Reverse Flash. But it's which Reverse Flash he jumps into.
You don't spoil it because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a head scratcher on that one.
Oh no, I'll spoil this. This is too good not to know. Because this makes me instantly hooked on what the next issue.
Okay.
He jumps into the Super Friends Legion of Doom Reverse Flash.
Okay. I was gonna say how, but okay.
It's a quantum leap through the multiverse of Flashes, and I was like, well, I thought he was only doing the main timeline, but apparently Thawne is ingratiating himself in a continuity where it's literally the Legion of Doom, the Super Friends era Legion of Doom.
So the quantum leap is also covering the negative Speed Force, then.
Yes.
Okay.
It's any Speed Force, I guess, because Lex Luthor is there with his pink shirt, pop collar, and hand grenade vest.
I'm sorry. I know exactly that comic. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's how the comic ends. It's like, all in favor of admitting the Reverse Flash into the Legion of Doom, say evil. And then Wally's like, evil? Oh no. Which this, of course, is a great thing because this is also an homage to an actual Justice League episode where Lex swaps bodies.
Oh yeah.
So he in the Legion of Doom, it's like, are you gonna wash your hands? No, because I'm evil.
It was that episode was funny. Just the whole thing. I have to be.
This issue of the Flash. I mean, yes, I spoiled the ending, but this is just a teaser for the next issue because this is going to be hilarious if they're the Super Friends era Legion of Doom.
That's still gonna be funny just because you just remind me of that episode. No, because I'm evil.
Well, What else? Sticking in DC, we got the follow-up on Nightwing. Nightwing is fantastic. Again, I'm not going to spoil too much. There's just some ramifications from the previous issue. The police think Dick has murdered somebody, and then Barb, who just left the apartment, comes back. And I love the fact, and this is the best Easter egg I found in the Nightwing comic, is that Nightwing has coffee mugs, and his coffee mug has the Adam West holding the bomb.
Nice. Nice.
And then, the detective's like, so we got you on this, and Barb's like, well, that's not relevant. It's like, we'll decide what's relevant. And then Barb's like, really? Because I have a law degree. And then Dick is like, I also have a law degree. And what you're holding him under is incredibly not relevant and mildly illegal. And then we see the detectives leaving the office.
They just walked.
The other good thing, huh?
No, I just thought about that. I said, this throw some legal jargon at him and walked out. that just stuck in my head. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The other good thing is, you were aware last time I mentioned that Dick got his. You also remember last time we talked about Nightwing, where I mentioned that Dick got his wallet stolen by kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you did.
So he calls in his little brother Tim, and Tim, so he calls in his little brother Tim. It's like, so Batman gave you something that's vital to your mission. It's like, Tim's like, what? It's like, he wanted me to give you this wallet with the chain. It will prevent people from stealing your wallet ever again, and should you need to, front as a soft metal band from the early 2000s.
Wow.
And then Dave's just like, it's like, I am never living this down. It's like, Tim's like, oh God, no. No, we're going to have fun with this for as long as we can.
Just the level of petty.
So what does Dick do to get back at Tim? Well, you got to go undercover. I know where the kids are keeping a camp. By the way, Bitewing needs a walk. Take her with you.
Oh man, that's it.
I love this book. Tom Taylor is nothing short of fantastic. We get to see a nice brother fight in the comic with Tim and Dick. It's just fun.
Oh, between those two, they try to one up each other, and that
so
is comedy gold at that point. That they're trying to one up each other. But what else? But I have to go back. Actually, I got that in my Comixology wait list. But what else you got?
All right, final one, which I am really, really enjoying, and I cannot wait to pick this up this weekend or next weekend, is Wonder Girl.
Okay.
This is the new Wonder Girl series that follows Yara Flor from the Future State series, where she was Wonder Woman. This is how she slowly becomes Wonder Woman.
Okay. I'll be honest with you, I've never really read a lot of Wonder Girl, but is this the one from the end?
So this is a great jumping on point.
Okay.
So the best part is this is a writer-artist. So Joella Jones, and where is the credits here? So Joella Jones and someone else is doing the art. We see a brief recap of young Yara being threatened by something while she was a little girl in the Amazons. And apparently something happened to her mother. We don't know. We do see that she is decapitated. Yara is on a trip down to Brazil. And apparently this gets the attention of 3 different pantheons of gods. So Themyscira is taking notice of it with Queen Nubia, because Nubia is now officially Queen of the Amazons.
Okay.
We see Olympus. Hera's like, oh, there's something bad about to go down. The Bana Migdal Pantheon is also taking notice of Yara Flor going to Brazil and into the Amazon. And the moment she sets off foot, we get like a giant spread panel of like multiple people, Wonder Woman, Catwoman, one Cassie Sandmark Wonder Girls, Brazilian Amazonians, Superman, and I am not joking with you, cartoon big lipped alligator woman. Uh, Everyone senses there is something happening the moment she steps off the plane. And then she, of course, saves some people. And then all three of the Pantheons go, we have to get her out of there or we got to kill
Huh.
her. And then the reason we're learning why they have to kill her is because if she's there, she's going to awaken the Pantheon that was sealed up, which was the which is the Brazilian Pantheon.
Yeah. Okay. So the Pantheon. I'm trying to remember which Pantheon. That might not be the ones I'm
Like
thinking of.
Incan and Mayan Pantheon.
There we go. I had to think about that for a second. Like I was like, are you talking pantheons or the gods? Which I guess that goes in that it goes. Well, it would get tucked into the God Slayer story, but then again, that goes into that's Wonder Woman, not Wonder Girl. So that part, that's where I'm going to be new territory for me.
Yeah. But Lola Jones is a writer and artist, and Jordi Belair is the colorist. The art and the coloring is amazing on this.
Okay.
We also get to see one of her weapons, which is the Bolo of Truth. Fortunately, it's being used against her by I want to guess, one of the Mayan creatures of mythology, who's a sea deity who has pulled her into the water. But so we got Olympus going after her, Bana Migdol going after her, and the Amazonian and the Greek Amazonians, all vying to get Yara out of there before she awakens the Mayan Pantheon.
Interesting. Okay, wait. Is this the? You said this. What issue of Wonder Girl was this?
One.
Okay, so it's one from the Infinite Frontier then.
Yes, this is her becoming Wonder Girl, which will lead into Wonder Woman at some point.
Got it right. I'm going to add that to the list. That might be the first time
The artwork on this is phenomenal, and again, it's a writer artist, which I love that.
Okay, I'd add that to the list because like I said, I've read plenty of Wonder Woman, but never any Wonder Girl. So it might be. It sounds like it's a great story in itself. I might have to take a look at it. But dude, that threw me off. I said, "Dang, Wonder Girl just pissing off every Pantheon god out there." Did she get a sound?
Like I said, apparently her arrival in Brazil is going to herald in the resurrection of possibly the Mayan gods. So they don't want any more pantheons out there. They barely tolerate each other.
Right. I just thought about the fact that she shows up and all of a sudden everybody won't smoke. But but aside from that, like I said, thank you, Joe, for that. As far as those comic book recommendations go, because that actually two of those I now have to go. I had now have to go back and read. You can keep the Heroes Reborn because I did it, and that.
Oh no! Heroes Reborn is like a weird thing where it's kind of like Convergence, where the main story is god awful, but the tie-ins are actually pretty decent. I read the Peter Parker one, and it's kind of like you're seeing it from a different perspective, where it's like we see the issue, golly, it's Hyperion, and then we see like the full thing is like, golly, it's Hyperion. What a dick.
Oh, I just hiccup. Ow, that hurt. I just hiccup. That hurt. You're better than me. I'm gonna listen to you on that one as far as that goes. But that's really all that we got, guys. So before I do get out of here, Joe, anything you want to let the fans know about what you do and how they can find you, man?
I mean, they can find me on Twitter at Joe Italian last name.
Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt.
And I got the two Instagrams, Nashville Scarlet Spider, Nashville Green Lantern. I am currently playing through Mass Effects. I got the Mass Effect trilogy. I am so overly.
I don't want to hear it. It's downloaded my PlayStation. I don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'm just telling you, I'm level 20 and I've only done one of the story missions.
Oh dang. I'm looking forward to it because the Legendary Edition on PlayStation is just I still have it on my 360, but it doesn't beat a remastered version of Mass Effect. And like I said, that was the thing I was going to point out. Damn it, that Mass Effect Legendary Edition is out. If you ain't already downloaded and playing it, because I will be playing it a little bit later this evening. Because as Joe has announced where you can find him, the parts for my Fenrir has shown up. If anybody does not remember, Fenrir is the name of my mini ITX build that is going to be able to support 3 monitors and basically start the whole pick up the sticks Twitch view, in which you'll probably see me and Joe and probably others, because I will leave it open-ended, to where we will be doing our fighting games from Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, because now I have a capture card that goes to my Xbox. So we'll be doing Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown. We're trying to keep it mostly fighting games because, let's be honest, everything else these days is multiplayer, and that's all well and good. But for the rest of us, it's just like straight PvP entertainment. We're just gonna stick to fighting games. So hopefully this weekend I will have Fenrir up and running, because I do love to build computers, and I'm kind of proud about this one because I took a very small computer setup and I decided to see if I could fit everything I wanted to fit in there, and I was surprised I still had room. So hopefully I'll get those pictures up and running once I install Windows 10 and get all that good stuff going and have my 3 monitors going. I'm looking forward to that. But as for me, guys, the link at the bottom you see in red is my actual link tree. So if you just copy and paste that in your browser, will take you to my link tree for my Facebook and YouTube groups for all my podcasts. How the Frack We Got Here, Git Bit, and the Offense Podcast. My scheduling still hasn't changed, guys. I still podcast every Wednesday, every Friday, and every Saturday. Of course, schedule is themselves as far as what you can see there. Of course, will be on the YouTube and Facebook pages itself. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. And if you like what we did, please let us know. If you didn't like what we did, please let us know. And also, be on the lookout, guys, because as June comes up, we will be covering E3 and hopefully having a little bit more news about what to expect as well as our predictions by next Friday. So, I do want to thank everybody that liked, that shared, that started, you could start a watch party, but thank you for sharing it with other people that are like-minded gamers just like me and Joe are, and just really just seeing 2 guys talk it out. Like I said, I will welcome anybody that wants to be on the show. The only thing I ask is that, you're in an area where you're not moving around a lot. At the same time, we do need to see you on camera. We do not do anonymous here. We like to see, you see my face, you see Joe's smiling face, so we like to see what we're talking about. Trust me, you're not going to be put on no government record or anything, because they've already got you on record because you got a smartphone. Let that go. So, with that being said, guys, like I said before. See? So, with that being said, we're all being tracked. So, with that being said, guys, again, thank you all for watching. And if you're watching this in the playback, please comment if it's live. This has been Get Bit Friday night. He's been Joe. I've been Will. Thank you for watching. We are out. Take care of each other. And we'll all get through this. Peace.